Hey Chad, what's going on? This is Taylor. I wanted to put together this website analysis for you, and in this video I'm going to show you those three mistakes I outlined in the initial email. I'm going to tell you how you can fix them and the benefits of doing so. I'm also going to show you how you can acquire more clients, grow your brand, increase your web presence, and climb up the Google rankings, all by implementing some basic digital marketing and SEO methods. And at the end of this thing, if you think to yourself, hey, this Taylor guy seems like he'd be a valuable commodity, then awesome. I'd love to be able to help you out on this project, Chad. And if not, no problem at all. My goal is just to educate you. And so really quick, just to introduce myself again, my name is Taylor. I own a company here in Seattle called Take On Marketing. We focus primarily on your one-stop shop, everything digital marketing needs, right? So we're going to take over the SEO of your website, optimize that thing, get it ranking well. We're going to take over the Facebook and Google ads. And that's a really important thing. If you can have a profitable Google ad and Facebook ad campaign, really makes your life a lot easier because you got extra income coming in from two different sources now, organic ranking plus an ad campaign. We can also take care of the email marketing, right? Capturing leads and sending these people emails, turn them into clients over time. So really quick, let's just jump over to your site here, Chad. A couple things stand out to me. First and foremost, it's a really nice professional site. I like the color scheme, the blue, the white, the silver. It's really cool. I like this logo. It's awesome. A lot of content on your site, which is great. This is neat. Interactive, right? Easy, not messy, not too busy. It's a nice looking site. It really does look good. It's professional. I don't have any issue whatsoever with the appearance of this website. Just making sure these three links work. Yep, good. Email is required, which is great. Having this is really important, a lead capture form on your site. My question to you, Chaz, are you guys doing any sort of email marketing, right? Are you putting these people in some sort of an email marketing funnel where you sell them your services over time? Because a lot of times it takes 6 to 7 emails to be able to close these deals. I notice you have 3 locations, right? Prospect, Brownsboro, and Westport. It's hard to rank one website for 3 locations, but it's not impossible. It's easier to rank 3 websites in 3 locations, but at the end of the day, it's not that hard. Louisville is not the biggest city in the world. It's decent size, but it's totally doable for all these different locations. If there's a proper SEO done, content's there, everything is in place. So let's just show you right now where you rank, Chad. When I type in auto repair shop Louisville, if we look at the map section, I found you guys. Your first listing was right here. Okay, your Brownsboro address comes up number 19, right? So 19th in maps. Your Westport comes up right here, and then I went through all the way to page 4, and I didn't find the other one, the third one. It might be hidden down here somewhere. Yeah, so that one's having a harder time showing up, that third one. Anyway, so the first 2 are ranking pretty well, right? Being on page 2 is okay. It's not a big deal, but there's obviously room for improvement. If you look at the organic section, I found you on page 2 right there, number 11. So you're very close to page 1 for this particular keyword. Chad, auto repair shop Louisville. There's almost 77 million results, right? So there's a lot of competition, a lot of keyword searches for this particular keyword. You're not far from page 1, but something is preventing your site from being on page 1. And so I'm just curious what that is. Well, here is a couple things that we can look at. So really quick, before we go any further, Moz is a great resource for everything SEO. It tells us what's preventing a site from ranking well. A couple things here, Chad. Your Google listing is fine. You have a Google listing. Your reviews is actually really, really important too. So I'm going to show you one thing, right? If you're on your map listing, at least for Brownsboro, okay, you have all these reviews. You have these responses. Are you adding photos on a consistent basis? That's a really big thing. Are you adding on a weekly basis to both your Brownsboro and your Westport and your third location, which is, what's that third location again? It's Prospect, right? So are you adding photos to all 3 listings? I like this. You're responding to each person, which is great. Make sure that you also like Justin's comment as well. That's going to help you out. But overall, there's really 3 ways to move up in the map section. One is to add photos and have customer engagement, and also adding extra reviews, but also there has to be SEO done on the website, on the correlating website for Google to move you up in the map section, okay? So having an active SEO campaign will move you up in the map section. Also, just being active, right? Liking people's comments, even if they're the old comments. If we go back in time, it looks like you have done a pretty good job. Make sure you come and like Cheryl's comment. Everything else looks pretty solid, pretty well responded on there. That's a diligent job. Good job, Chad. But let's take a look at the other listing. Make sure that you're doing the same thing with Westport one. So the Westport one doesn't have as great a score. What I would do is I would do anything possible you can to get this up above 4.4. Typically 4.4 is the lowest you're going to want to see this. So you have a few 1 stars, add, an extra 8 to 10 reviews, make sure they're all 5 stars. If you need help getting reviews, that's not going to be a problem. I can help you out with that, Chad. Overall though, it looks good. All right, let me check the prospect one. Springdale Automotive prospect. Let's see how this one's doing, this listing. Okay, so this one has a solid score, some photos. Everything looks pretty good on the map section. So really what it comes down to is there's just not enough SEO that's being done in Google's eyes to warrant moving you up in the maps section, right? So let me look behind the scenes to let you know what's going on, to see what we can't do to help you guys out. Okay, so a couple things stand out to me. Adding more text to your site, Chad, that's going to be helpful, but it's not the end of the world. You do have 18%. I do want to see typically close to 40%. If you want to add an extra 500 to 1,000 words of content on your homepage, I really do think that there's merit in doing that. Add an extra couple paragraphs, especially down here. There's a lot of coding on your site. Adding extra content is really going to be beneficial, and it's a really simple process. Google sends a little tool across every site on the planet, and the site then reports back to Google. The little tool is called a spider. It reports back to Google what they believe the site happens to be about based on the content of that site, right? So adding more content, always beneficial, but that's not the end of the world. Images, you have one image without alternative text. Okay, and alternative text allows your images to pop up in Google Images. And then that's a simple fix too. And then your meta description's a little short. You're going to want to increase that at least 7 characters to get that up above 160. So everything else looks fine here. So it makes me wonder what's really going on. Why is this site stuck on page 2 if, the behind the scenes stuff looks pretty fine, looks okay. I'd give this about a B. It's nothing wrong with this. And then your site looks good, and you have good Google My Business. Well, we have to come back here to identify what the real problem is. And a couple things stand out to me, Chad. It has to be citations and links because these two carry a lot of clout. But when I went to type in your business information to get a citation report, okay, I typed in I typed in both the Westport address and the Brownsport address. I typed in both these two addresses, and it came back with a 0 for both. This tells me that Google is really confused with where your site is located, okay, where your business is located. And now this does tend to happen sometimes with businesses that are in multiple locations, but really what it comes down to is there has to be citations that are done for all 3 locations, and sometimes people just don't even bother. But having a citation is important because citations are places online, again, where somebody can find your business information. The more you have, the better. The more accurate you have, the better. You're going to want to have the same business name, address, and phone number spread across all of the platforms. So you're going to want to have citations set up for all 3 different listings. And this is something I can help you out with. It's really, it does take time, but it's inevitable that this gets done because citations play a huge role in a site moving up. And then last but not least, Chad, this is the biggest thing, and if we come back to here to show us, is the backlinks, right? So a backlink is as simple as this. You go to your site, you click on scheduling, right? That's a link. It takes you to a new page, okay? You get the point. That's a backlink. Everybody and their mother knows what a backlink is now. It's really extremely simple, but here's the thing, is Google will actually rank websites higher based on the amount of backlinks that you have coming in, pointing at your homepage URL from well-respected and authoritative and quality, credible sources, right? So if you had a link to your site from, abc.com, it would be a huge boost. Problem is, it's difficult to get these quality links. And if you had one coming from Wikipedia, you'd be in business all day. It'd bump you up to the top. But the problem is, companies like Wikipedia, they only link to other Wikipedia pages, right? So that's why Wikipedia ranks so well for nouns, for people, place, and things, because they all backlink to each other, right? So what you need is people you need quality sites, URLs that are well respected by Google, giving a backlink to your URL, right? So here's what I mean. I ran a diagnosis on your site, Chad. You have currently 18 backlinks pointing at your site across the internet. 18 links, that's all. And in Google's eyes, with a trust flow of 0, they don't really respect or value any of these links. In fact, of those 18 links, they're only coming from 3 different domains. So it means you're getting on average 6 links per domain. Let's see if it tells us what domains are coming from. Nope, it doesn't tell us. But it looks like a lot of those links are actually just coming from their inbound links coming from your own URLs, right? So what you need is you need quality links from really well-regarded websites. So example, here's an example of a website I would be referring to. And so this is a site called inclusiveplanet.com. It's a well-regarded, well-respected site. It has 4,400 fresh backlinks, a high trust flow of 11, and a historic, it has over 53,000 indexed links. So this site, if I were to use this to backlink to your clients, to your site, right, as a client, a potential client, you would get a huge boost in the rankings. So I bought this site, Chad, in auction. And I did my research. I found that this site was well respected, and I bought it in auction. And then, as you can see from the look of the site, it's nothing special. But then I added content and I backlinked to some of my client sites. Here's an example of one. This is a client of mine in Chandler. Runs a limo company. Nothing special. It's just a simple site. But if you come to Google and you type in limo service Chandler, 200,000 people. You know, it's a decent sized city, right? Number one. I don't count this guy because he's running an ad, right? But number one in maps, number one in organic. Right, I did the same thing in Tucson, Arizona for commercial window tinting. Right, this guy, don't count him. He's running an ad. This is my client, Greg. We got him ranked number one. He was not ranked even, I think he was like 14th when I first started working with him. Jacksonville window tinting, another client of mine, ranks number one. Andrew, he's number one in organic and number one in maps. Another client, I've done this a bunch of times. I'm just showing you a couple examples. Number one in maps, number one in organic. You can see that it's kind of the same layout as the Chandler site, right? So the whole point of me showing you this stuff, Chad, is to prove you my method works, right? Your site itself is fine. It's a good-looking site. There's nothing really inherently wrong with it. The problem is there's just some stuff behind the scenes that's being neglected. All right, there's not enough backlinks going to your site to give it a boost. There's not the citation stuff could easily be fixed. You could always add some more content, but really it's those two main things: citations and backlinks. Those are two big things, and then that's really it. And then obviously, you know, if you want to add 500 to 1,000 words of extra content, I absolutely, you know, believe there's huge value in that. So those are three things. If you want some help getting that stuff squared away, a lot of people have no idea when it comes to, you know, backlinks, how to get quality backlinks. Let me know. I own a bunch of those sites, like an inclusiveplanet.com, you know, like this one I was showing you, right? You know, I bid on these sites in auction. It's actually a proprietary method that I implement. I buy these sites in auction after I do my research, and then I backlink and I press repeat, and all these sites end up ranking, right? So it's a really simple process. Now, this is just SEO. I didn't even get into these other services. So there's a lot of other things I can do if we want to work together, Chad, to take you to the next level, right? If you have an Instagram, if you have Twitter, if you have Facebook, there are 3 huge channels for potential revenue if you know what you're doing. Running a Google ad. The reason I like running Google ad is because it brings you quick wins. It's instant revenue while you're waiting for your site to organically rank. Right? So you have an SEO, natural ranking organic campaign going, plus you have running an ad, and then we're also doing an email marketing campaign. There's going to be a huge boost in revenue for your business. So that being said, Chad, I'd love to be able to work together on a project with you. Hopefully all this made sense and you're getting some value out of this video. If you want to reach me, you can always call me. My phone number is right here on my site. You can always just respond to this email as well. So appreciate your time. And I, again, hope that all this made sense. So I'm looking forward to chatting next, Chad. We'll take care. Bye-bye.